Sharon, please raise your hand if you've ever struggled with your mental health. Keep it raised if you've struggled at any point during your high school or college career. Looks like you're all being honest with yourselves and the class, which shows that this is pretty common. From being around other freshmen, I can tell that mental health in college students is a big problem. If these issues aren't addressed in a student's freshman year of college, these issues can persist throughout their entire college career. Obviously, due to different circumstances, mental health issues can pop up at any time during a student's life. Because of this, it's important for students to be self-aware of their behaviors and emotions and to take steps to help address them. We just conducted a mini survey in the classroom to see how many students struggle with their mental health. Let's now take a closer look at how the problem and see if our results are backed up by researchers. Prior to the pandemic, Abigail Huss's article, Massive Survey Finds 1 in 3 College Freshmen Struggle with Mental Health, found in Make It by CNBC on October 4th, 2018, Access October 25th, 2020, says that the World Health Organization found that 35% of college freshmen from across the world struggle with their mental health. There is no data report by the WHO for 2020, but there has been some other smaller studies done by colleges around in America. So, Xiaomi Wang conducted a survey with students from Texas A&M, found a report investigating mental health of college students during the COVID-19 pandemic. A cross-sectional survey found in the Journal of Medical Internet Research by JMR Publications on September 17, 2020, in Access October 25, 2020. Even though she only surveyed a small fraction of students, 71% of these students had increased levels of stress and anxiety due to the COVID-19 pandemic. We're all living through it, so there probably doesn't need to be much more so than that. It's definitely impacted the school year and their health. So, we've already briefly covered that COVID-19 has caused for students to struggle with mental health, but what about all the causes from before COVID-19? Those causes still exist in conjunction with the pandemic, so it's important to cover these two. What causes college students to struggle with their mental health? For the most part, it's just a lot of environmental factors in college. So, according to Martha Karn's article, 7 Ways Going to College Affects Your Health, found in the College Puzzle by Stanford University on June 28, 2017, and Access October 25, 2020, there are 7 environmental factors that can lead to negatively impacting health of students. To briefly quote the article, she said that 7 factors are stress, because it's the biggest thing that can affect your academic performance and impact your mental and physical health. Sleep, because there's a lot going on in college, so there's a high chance of having lack of sleep. Exercise, a lot of students stop playing sports when they come to college, and they're really busy, so they don't have as much time to exercise as they did in high school. Depression, many college students deal with depression and anxiety, particularly freshmen who are overwhelmed by college life. Drugs and alcohol, because it's a chance to get out and have fun without parental supervision. College life often involves drinking, but some students take it to the extremes and drink far too heavily. Others are peer pressured into it, which is also not so good for them. Close to 600,000 students are injured annually as a result of drinking and doing drugs, so just be responsible. Social anxiety can happen if you're starting your freshman year and you feel anxious about what to expect. So because you're in a new environment and from what you're used to, and you may have no idea how to act. And finally, infectious diseases, which we've already kind of covered already, but there's also the cold or the flu, and you should also watch out for mono, which is pretty common in college as well. And that's something you can't control. So the rest of them are things you can do a good job of controlling, so it's important to be aware of these things. To add to this, freshmen are the most at risk. Some may take advantage to explore their personality when they come to college, but others may struggle because their previous routine and structure is disrupted. They're doing a lot more on their own than before and aren't used to it. On the flip side, some students come from toxic homes, so they only experience similar problems when it gets close to moving home during breaks if they have to. There's obviously a lot more that goes into each factor, but it's on an individual basis because everyone is so complex. Although college can be overwhelming, there are things students can do to increase their mental health. As a freshman, I haven't been very aware of a lot of on-campus resources or know what to do when someone I know needs some help. So here's some things I've discovered for on-campus resources. If you live on campus, definitely talk to your CA or talk to the CA on duty. I found that a lot of them are really nice and they're there to help, so they're willing to answer a lot of questions. Personally, I'm not very close to my CA for my floor, so I found that I can go to a CA on a different floor and talk to her if I need help. There's also the Counseling Center website. There's lots of information on there if you don't want to be counseled or don't feel like you need counseling, but still need some help. There's a lot of self-help resources there, which I didn't realize. And if you do want to have counseling, you can call them. If you email them, they'll just say to call them, so just go with calling them. If you have a very specific problem, try to look on the UCM website to see if they have specific information on that topic. For example, if you're a junior and you're stressed and anxious about whether you'll find a job post-graduation, you can talk to your success advisor or career services. If you really don't know who to ask on something, just talk to as many people as you can get to get their different opinions, or they may be able to point out different resources you didn't know about before. Don't feel like you have to do everything on your own. You can talk to your parents, your siblings, and other family members and friends. Some of them may have already been through college and they've had experiences similar to what you're going through, so they may be able to provide solutions that work for them. According to Emily Hayden's article, I'm Struggling in College, Now What? 6 Tips for Getting Back on Track, by Rasmus College on June 27, 2017, and Access October 25, 2020, self-care is the biggest thing students can do to improve their mental health. She suggests to write down goals and how to achieve them, to trust yourself, because a lot of students, when they come to college, don't trust themselves as much as they did before because they're struggling more, so they don't think they can do it. But they can. Identify problems in study environments and fix them, and do stress-relieving activities. For me, I like to go watch YouTube, crochet, do yoga, stuff like that. When life gets hard or really busy, sometimes it's difficult to remember to have good hygiene, eat well, and have a good sleep schedule. So it's important to try to work a little bit on each of those things throughout the day, or to write it down as a reminder to do those things. Sometimes you might have to even schedule it out. In summary, a large issue today is that a lot of students struggle with their health because they're away from home and experiencing a lot of different environmental factors. As a solution, students should use university resources, talk to others, and remember to take self-care actions. To have good mental health in college means a more successful you.